The American public's insatiable appetite for true crime entertainment has made the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination one of the most well-known constitutional rights, and the Supreme Court case of Miranda versus Arizona is referenced so frequently that it's become a pop culture icon. Curiously, the case that paved the way for Miranda's involuntary confession rules hasn't been the subject of a podcast or series, despite the fact that Bram versus United States involved a horrific crime that many believe was never solved. Tragedy struck the Herbert Fuller cargo ship when the ship's captain, his wife, and the second officer were brutally murdered with an axe in the middle of the night. After suspicion fell on Charley Brown, a sailor, the ship's crew shackled and confined Brown until the ship reached the nearest port in Halifax, Nova Scotia. 3 days later, when land was in sight, Brown told members of the crew that he'd witnessed First Officer John Bram committing the murders. Bram asserted his innocence, but he was put in shackles. When the ship docked, Brown and Bram were turned over to the chief of police. Bram was taken to Detective Nicholas Power's office for questioning. Power stripped Bram and searched his clothing and his person. Bram remained naked while Power interrogated him about Brown's claim that he saw Bram commit the murders. Bram replied that Brown couldn't have seen him from where Brown had been standing. When Bram maintained his innocence, Power stated he was certain Bram was guilty, but that he must have had help. Power urged Bram to identify his accomplice to avoid sole responsibility for the crime. Bram replied that he believed Brown was the murderer, but didn't know anything. Bram's case was transferred to Boston, where he was indicted for murder on the high seas. At trial, the district court admitted Bram's statements to Power as a confession, and Bram was convicted and sentenced to death. Bram petitioned for writ of error, and the United States Supreme Court granted cert.